I asked you,
I don't
what are
believe
you
you
doing
actually
as an
want to
investigator if I
respond.
can't see or communicate with my child? If my child custody rights haven't been taken
Exactly.
away and I don't have access, what do I do?
You don't want to respond. You just like to talk, Ms. Clark.
I don't understand why you would degrade and mistreat me, ma'am, in this crisis when I'm trying to report child abuse and get my rights, and why you would withhold that information and education from me.
When you
And if you,
really want information, you let me know.
so I communicated with you. If my parental rights aren't taken, why do I not have access to my child? And what do I do when the multiple parties will not investigate and enforce child custody agreements, which is a crime?
If you do not have access to your child, how is it that you know or think you know that she has been hit?
Okay, multiple times on this call, you have denied me education on what I need to do to get my rights. She sent the text crying out that you want to investigate.
But
I
you do
haven't
have access
received
to your
text.
child, correct?
No, I don't. I don't see her. I don't go to her games. And what I'm trying to communicate with you and see why you're refusing to investigate why my rights are being taken away illegally.
But
And
by
you have
access,
evidence of
what
that.
exactly do
And
you
you
mean?
have
What kind
evidence
of
of
access are
that.
you seeking?
If I have my child custody rights away, why doesn't she live with me?
Okay, so that's what you mean specifically. Why doesn't she live with you? Not necessarily access. Because access and living with you are two different things. So you want her to live with you, not just for you to have access to her, correct?
Right. I mean, why even, as a parent, even if she doesn't live with me, I have rights to communicate with her, go to games and
You are
different things.
communicating with her. You just said that.
No, I haven't. I haven't had communication with her. She hasn't told me what happened with her being hit, and I haven't talked to her. I would like to talk to
She
her.
sent you a text message, and I know
We're not getting anywhere, ma'am. That was like April 17th. It's May. I would like to communicate with my daughter very often. If she is indeed playing sports, I like to be a part of her games and go to her games like I did with my sons.
How often would you like to communicate if she's not living with you? Other than her living with you, how often would you like to communicate with your daughter?
If she's not, I'd like to communicate with her every day, and I'd like her to live with me. But I mean, getting hit at one point, she did want to live with me, but being hit and controlled, I don't know what she feels now.
No, I understand what you're saying. You want her. That's the ideal. You want her to live with you. But I'm saying, if she's not living with you, what's the alternative? How often would you like to communicate?
I'd like to communicate with her every day, and I'd like her to feel free to state how she misses me. I'd like to be able to go do things with her, go to the park, go fishing, do things with her. We talked about going to the water park, do that, go to Six Flags.
Okay. And so do you think that there are some things that need to be in place, or have you been asked to do anything in order to make that happen?
I don't know, ma'am. That's why, investigator, I don't understand why you're disregarding the fact that multiple parties have lied and slandered to keep me away from my daughter, and why you're not assisting me with getting that resolved.
Have you been asked to do things? Have there been any stipulations in place in order to make that happen for you and your daughter?
I mean, why aren't you investigating the corruption and why parties lied and slandered to get me on the supervised visits, and then indeed to figure out why multiple parties?
I don't have the authority to investigate that. So you're barking up the wrong tree. I do not have the authority to investigate corruption of a court or a police department. I do not.
Okay, so what is exploitation? If my child and as well as myself are being exploited, who investigates that?
Who investigates exploitation, child exploitation?
Right.
DFPS, Department of Family and Protective Services.
Okay, isn't that a form of exploitation?
But also the various police departments also.
Isn't that a form of exploitation?
Wait, you're not listening. Also, police departments investigate exploitation. Federal agents investigate exploitation. It just depends on what level it is and where it occurs.
Okay, so isn't that a form? Isn't this experience a form of exploitation?
Well, we only investigate it when it directly involves the child's parent or caregiver. If it's anyone outside of the household, if it's not the parent or caregiver, it's not within our jurisdiction. We don't have the authority.
Okay, once again, isn't this a form of exploitation?
Did it involve the parent or caregiver?
Yeah, I'm telling you that multiple parties are conspiring to sabotage my rights as a parent. Huh?
Who are the
James Hastings out of Tasca made
Is he a
false
parent or
statements.
caregiver of your child?
Oh, okay. The Denise and Michael Cage went up to the court and made false statements to sabotage my rights as a parent, and I don't know what the rights are, what they said. And no one will do an investigation to investigate the false statements. I don't even know what the false statements are.
Okay. So how do you know there were false statements made?
Why don't I have access to my child?
Oh, that's your follow-up question to how do you know?
I mean, I don't know what we're not really getting a lot resolved because if
You're right.
okay, so I'm not getting a lot of assistance from you. So
Yes,
you
you
can't
are.
help with
Because
James
I think
Hastings
you've
making
done a
false
lot more.
statements.
I think you've done a lot more critical thinking than you've probably done in 15 years on this one call. So yes, we are getting.
Okay, so if they went into the court and made false statements to the court, are you able to figure out what false statements were made to sabotage my rights as a parent, which is criminal? And your child protective service investigator, especially because she claimed that she was hit.
Miss Clark, I cannot figure out what false statements were made. No. I told you I don't have the authority to investigate the court or what was done in the court. I can't do that. No.
Okay, so your child protective services, this party that hit my child, or whatever happened with her getting hit, and now she's saying that she wasn't hit, but I have text on my phone showing that she was hit. But if she was hit and then threatened to be given up to CPS, her living arrangement, that's evidence that she was getting control. There's texts that show that when my daughter had a meltdown because I left, stepmom said that she was going to give her away to CPS. So if you are a 12-year-old child getting violated like that and multiple parties covering for it, you have to change your story to have a stable environment. But what I'm trying to figure out is why multiple parties are not protecting my child, and that is their responsibility to protect her.
Okay, I can go with that. Because, yeah, sometimes children might be coached and they might feel like they need to preserve their environment. So I'll go with that. So when your child was seen and interviewed, it's not, during an investigation, we don't just talk to the child who's the alleged victim. We also talk to other people who have regular contact with the child. I think when you spoke with Chastity, because she spoke with me also, and I remember she called when she had me on hold, and I told her she couldn't talk to you while she was on her way to visit another or in front of another client.
Oh, okay, that was odd. Why would she call me? She called me and then didn't want to give me information.
She told me that she thought it was her previous client giving her the new number, so she made a mistake. So we discussed that. So I apologize, but she was gonna see the child at the school, and we did that. We talked to like school personnel, we talked to other persons who have regular contact with the child.
But some kind of way you did not figure out why she sent me text saying that she was hit, and some kind of way you didn't figure out who did it, and that's a major concern of her safety. If I reported that she was hit, some kind of way you bypass that, which is you're supposed to protect the child, and you didn't do it because you did not find out who hit her. Investigate what parties that hit her. You did not do that.
You're asking us to live in a delusional world. If one person says something is pink and 10 says they say it's
I have text in my phone, ma'am, that I showed to the police. I have a police report number. I have text, but I don't understand why Child Protective Service wouldn't investigate who hit my child. And why, when she had pictures of bruises, was that lost? Well, where there was pictures of bruises.
No one else.
Ma'am, September 24, 2011, there were pictures of bruises that when she was over there with her dad that I reported it. I don't know. I'm still trying to give you the feedback on the history.
Yeah, but that was way too long ago.
I'm still trying to give you more education. In addition, and it was reported to CPS.
Education.
Okay. Well, it's like you're covering for it. So then again, in 2000, they were away from my daughter a long time and didn't really have access. And wasn't really calling right, and was behind in child support and a lot of other things. So fast forward, the dad had a stroke and then wanted to be a part of his daughter's life again. So they gradually got were able to be a part of her life again. Then she reported abuse again February of 2018, which James Hastings and multiple parties covered for her in Itasca, Texas. Then here again, she's saying that I witnessed her mistreating my daughter because she had a meltdown. She had meltdown other times when we used to video chat, and they would hang up when she'd have a meltdown over the phone.
Miss Clark, she may miss you very much. She may want more contact. If you're her mom, of course she might have a meltdown. That's normal.
Right, but what's not abnormal is the mom. What's abnormal is the mom giving her away to CPS, and I have text messages on there, and she's hysterical and having a meltdown because she missed her mom. The stepmom's idea of her missing me was to give her away to CPS. She called and told me I'm sending her away to CPS. I begged and pleaded and was hysterical because multiple parties are making sure I have nothing to do with my daughter for profit. So they have way more power than me. So with all these parties committing crimes to keep me away from my child, that she would probably be in the system. She's aware of that. There's too many parties committing crimes, covering for all of this activity and chaos. They can't get their story straight, deny me my civil rights, multiple parties. If I was a 12-year-old child, watched police violating my mom for profit, knowing the mistreatment that we've been through in that community, and what does the police department do when my mom makes reports to protect us? Go to jail on lies and slander that she witnessed. Then watch multiple other parties lie and slander to keep my mom away from me. Watch my mom get hit and violated, nothing is done about it. And then we're trying to, show my mom I miss her and, trying to have rights and see my mom and be around my mom. You get threatened to get given away to CPS. And what does CPS do? Cover for it. Along with the police department. So if I witnessed that too, I would be very particular about what I say to see these people that I know or don't have my best interest at heart and are covering for crimes that happened to me and my mother. If someone is covering for me getting hit, I wouldn't feel safe talking to them.